Good evening, folks, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Infinity Cast. And here we have, of course, as always,
Chespi's face.
Looking a bit grumpy. Maybe he's just woken up. And, of course, our special guest this evening, Manchy.
Hello.
Who's currently ranked 1. So if you'd just like to say a bit about yourself, Manchy, before we carry on.
I'm rank 1. I like playing Infinity.
Nice.
I know.
I think we all do. Otherwise, I don't think any of us would be here. But yes, awesome. So, what's been going on this week with you, Chess?
With me, I've been streaming. We've been streaming. It's our first week since the Infestation hype. It's been a really fun week. I actually had a lot of fun playing the game this week, more than in recent memory. It took me a little while to kind of get my feet wet in the Infestation pool. It was a little intimidating at first. It's my first new set since I've been playing, so it was a little. I was a little scared to update my decks. I was a little intimidated trying to figure out where the good combos and the good cards were for me. But over the last week, I played 40 hours or so, and I found some decks I really like, and I played a lot of games. Happy with where things are at for my broadcast, and I've been really enjoying Infinity Wars, which I always enjoy it, but it comes in waves, and there are times that I'm enjoying it much more than other times. And this last week I've really had fun playing the game, and that's it's good for me for a guy who's been playing the game nonstop since November. It's good when it's more fun than less fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because it's just thrown everything kind of up in the air, and when you go and play in even ranked and just normal games, it's like you don't know what you're going to see. I think it's great. Like the first couple of weeks after a new set is released is just brilliant, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to see, and yeah, I know what you mean. It's just fun. But yeah, same with me. Just been streaming all week, and
and there was
making a ton of new decks, just a ton.
We had Manchy on my broadcast about a week ago now, and he did a great interview segment about optimizing decks, and he talked a little bit about some things we're going to cover more in depth tonight, I think. But just comparing my own findings to things that he said has been an interesting experience to me too. Like seeing, well, do I think something different? Am I finding something that I think maybe Manchy didn't think about? Did I find something that might be strong here that isn't getting credit? It's an interesting endeavor, because when you think you found something like that, a top player didn't come up with on their own or didn't mention, either you think maybe I found something new, or maybe I'm going to get told. Maybe I'm going to get told why this isn't as good as I think it is.
It depends what it is. I don't think I've seen this mystery deck you're talking about. Yeah. So what have you been up to this week, Manchy?
I finally got my stream back online, so I've been streaming a little bit.
That's good.
Also, just playing a lot of Rift runs with the new decks, trying to figure out how the draft meta works.
Mm-hmm.
Playing a little bit on my Smurf, got it back to 1800 rating. Just some play testing in general. A lot of work to do with the team, so
That's good, man.
Having a lot of fun in Infinity Wars.
Oh yeah, it is great fun at the moment. There's so much happening. There's trade chat is just full of just stuff. Some of the trades,
Spam.
I've got to say, no, not necessarily spam, but some of the trades have just been hilarious. I still don't understand the looking for random trade.
I don't understand that. There was one guy who's spamming looking for trades that favor me one day.
Brilliant.
I thought, isn't that lovely? Oh, how unique and novel that you're hoping trades favor you. Thank you for sharing.
That is brilliant. What I swear that there was some equally funny ones. I can't remember them. I should have written them down actually. But some of them were just they were glorious. Willing to sell myself for trades and stuff like this, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
The looking for random things. A guy explained it to me that what they like to do is just they want to look at other people's collections and just see if there's something they want.
I see.
That's novel, but I already know everything that there might be in someone's collection, and I just look for that. I don't want to go looking through random people's collections. I I had a guy I put in trade. I was looking for plat and core, or core and rise plat cards, which is the only thing I'm collecting right now. And if you have them, come to me. I'll trade you good for them. But I was trading for plat and core rise cards. That's all I'm putting in trade. Some guy sends me a trade request. I looked through his collection real quick. He's got like 100 cards for trade. They're all standards. And he types into chat, if you see anything you like, let me know. And I wrote, well, you don't have any plat cards, so what am I supposed to be seeing? And he writes, I guess nothing, asshole, and closes the trade. What? What did I do?
Brilliant, people.
I mean, posting these random trades is basically like when you're in real life, when you're in a TCG store, you just go up to someone and say, yo, want to trade? And then you put up your binder and he looks at your stuff and you look at his stuff and it's like, no, I don't need anything, goodbye.
Yeah, it's kind of... I can understand, like, more for someone who doesn't know all the cards and hasn't really looked at like a latest archive or anything like that. And then so you just want to just see what's out there, I guess.
Or maybe somebody has one premium they don't realize they have, and you're searching for treasure. I don't know.
Yeah. I suppose you go to someone's collection and you go, ooh, that card looks good. Oh, that would actually go good in this deck. Never seen that before. Yeah, I suppose it has its... I suppose we can't see it from that way because we just have every card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean...
So we can't see it from that perspective as a new player or anything, so... Yeah. That's understandable. But yeah, so... Infestation, what is been happening just with... What have you come up with, guys? What's the favourite thing? What's your favourite deck? Let's go with that one first. So, Manchy, if you want to go first, what's your favourite deck since Infestation?
Since Infestation, triple COV, I've been running with it a lot. I exclusively played on my Smurf account, and I also played it a lot on my main account in Ranked. I really love the way the deck plays, and I really like what you can do with it. But yeah, that's mainly the deck I like to play the most right now.
Do you feed your Smurf account, or how do you get Dark Wishes on your Smurf account, Manchy?
You trade them over from your main account, and when you're done playing, you trade them back.
You twink yourself. I got it.
Why have you got a Smurf account? What?
Because my goal is to be rank 1 to 10. I don't know.
He's gonna get 10 Smurf accounts and actually dominate the leaderboard alone.
That's a good plan, I suppose. Good plan. Go on then, Chess. What have you got this week? Your favorite?
My best deck. My best deck right now that I'm tempted to. I've been sharing it on my broadcast, and it's actually what's awesome about it is it only has 4 rares in the whole deck. No epics, no legendaries, only 4 rares in the whole deck.
That's pretty good.
Is a double GI sleeper deck with Tinkerer and Infected Drone in command and a Infected Pack Leader, and the deck is all almost all artificial. With a couple Angelifies, couple Scouting Missions, 3 Anomalies. The only rares are the Tinkerer in command and 3 Angelifies in the deck, and there's no Martyr Golems. It doesn't need any of that. It's fast, and I have lost maybe 3 games with it out of 20 or something. It's one of my strongest decks ever, and I didn't quite expect it when I was putting it together. I knew it was onto a good idea, and I looked at 3 or 4 players, other viewers of mine. I looked at their ideas for this sort of deck, and then I was like, okay, those are good ideas. Let me put my version of this together, and it did. And just shredding. It's
nice. Yeah, that Infected Drone Tinkerer combo in command has been used quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not familiar, I'll put it on screen actually.
It's a little faster than I think it was intended, but it's not unfair. I don't think it was meant to be put in the game that way exactly. We're gonna have Rob on the podcast next week, so we can ask him that. But I don't think that combo was actually intended. But it's not unfairly powerful. It's just really good.
Yeah, exactly. So Infected Drone, you use the later Tinkerer, which I'll put this on screen so you guys can see. So you obviously use the Immortal Tinkerer to pay 1, give it +3/+3, and because this guy, when he's targeted, becomes an 8/8, it becomes an 11/11 turn 2 drop, which is a crazy drop. So a lot of people, I've seen so many people use this combo though. It's nice. And it's cheap because it's just a common as well. So
yeah, it's strong. I mean, compared to Flame Dawn putting out 3 aspirants or a Knight of the Flame Dawn and an aspirant by turn 2, it's not overpowered.
It's just really solid, really strong, just turn 2 play.
It's incredibly reliable.
Of course, the only other way it could be taken out was it can't even be taken out if it's your priority, or not your priority. You can get taken out by a lightning blast, but that's the only way you can get taken out turn 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a turn 2 zombie gone. We'll get rid of it because it's undead at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
And it can obviously be matched it can be traded for 3 aspirants or a knight and an aspirant, which is probably fair value because resource-wise it's fair value. It's 2 cards for 1 because you comboed it. That's a little loss of tempo for Flame Dawn, but you don't really want to leave an 11/11 out there if you can help it. And obviously turn 3 there's a lot of counters to it. It's really strong for that 1 turn you get it out there though.
Especially with more in your hand as well.
What do you think about that, Manchy, that particular combo?
The Infected Drone Elata combo is quite cute. I don't necessarily like it in command with Elata because Double Genesis is just such a weak double faction. Like you only get Angelify is a really good card, and other factions offer way more in Double Purity. But the Infected Drone itself, if you run it in your deck and have it on turn 2, and maybe if you put it out in turn 3, it's still an 11/11 and kills everything. Like, Infected Drone plus Elata obviously is very efficient.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a nice combo, but yeah. The deck I've kind of been... Well, I came up with and I played in Ranked for quite a lot, and I only lost a few times, actually, because I just decided on the Sunday afternoon, on my day off, I was like, right, I'm actually going to sit down, make a deck, and I'm going to play Ranked. I don't want to play triple COV because people know from my stream that I'm not a fan. It is really good, don't get me wrong, and I have got a deck like that, but it is well, as Manchy says, one of the top decks, and he's using it himself. So yeah, there you go. But no, I've called it Flaming Daude. It's kind of a I have Saculus in command, 3 Saculuses in the decks, and basically everything in my deck is basically a 3 or under cost wise. And obviously using Z to bring stuff back, and so on and so on, and just kind of, most of the time, as long as I'm getting them down through about 40 health with my rush, with aspirants and charging and fleeing footmen and stuff like that, then I use Saculus, obviously kill him, use him again to try and basically win, and it works really well. Even I think I went against the same guy in Ranked with a triple COV deck. I think I went him against about 7 times, and I think we went 6-1 in my favour with him. And I was like, this is a good deck. It works, because the one thing that's kind of probably brought me through the whole thing is Purify. We should talk about Purify. It is a glorious card. It's probably one of my favourite and most powerful in Infestation, in my opinion. It's just won me so many games. Particularly against COV, more than anything.
Oh yeah, Purify is amazing. When I saw the cards, like as soon as I saw it on the test server, I was like, yes. Like Extirpate or Surgical Extraction are cards that have been in Magic the Gathering and also in the top decks of Magic, like for years now, and it basically does exactly the same thing. Like it's just a very, very solid card.
Oh, yeah. You dodge one mass death, you're like, right, you're not doing that to me again. Boosh. Purify.
Pretty much.
It's really good. It saved me so much.
Yeah, I mean, my issue with Purify is that obviously in the triple COV matchup, your targets for it are very obvious. Against other factions, the targets are much less obvious, and that's the trouble I have with the card. It doesn't make it less good of a card, but that's the trouble I have is deciding what I want to target with it outside of the triple COV matchup.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that, but I still think it has its uses outside of that.
Oh, it does. I'm just saying there's less. Maybe we could talk about what are some other good targets for it, because I have the difficulty. It's easy to say Mass Death, Annihilate, Dark Wish. Like, okay, no brainers. Get those out of the game.
Well, things like Recurring Nightmare, amazing against, because obviously that could be played from the graveyard.
I'm always hesitant to use it against creatures because he might have them in his hand and it won't purify those.
Yeah, it purifies them from the hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it says on the card. They're removed from that player's hand, deck, and graveyard.
Huh.
So it removes them from the hand as well. It's only if they're in play it doesn't remove them. But obviously you can't use it against unlimited because that would just be OP. But but no, yeah, it removes the card from the hand as well. So if you see that hand count go down, you're like, yes.
So you can actually, I didn't think about using it to take a recurring nightmares out of play so they have to stop regenerating. But if there's one on the board and you use it, it will keep looping afterwards.
Oh yeah, well yeah, of course, yeah, because it will be in play. Yeah, it just removes everything that's not in play basically. But no, there's quite a few, like a lot of undead stuff, a lot of sleepers stuff. It can be used well with.
Purifying Saculus not a terrible idea.
That's
Purifying
true.
Luca is not a terrible idea.
Yep, exactly. I think it's got a lot of applications. I think a lot. Or if you see a person trying to play a Reanimator deck, which I haven't actually seen many of them, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Like you could work wonders on that. So that they throw it in the graveyard. And you're right, all right, then Purify, bye. You got a whole strat gone. But yeah, let's talk about Reanimators for a little bit. Actually.
Well, I was just wondering, Manchy, you have any other obvious Purify targets?
In all honesty, I see Purify. I wouldn't necessarily run it in my main deck, depending on how much COV I actually meet in the ranked games. Like, I personally don't meet a lot. I've played the mirror match like once in the past week, so I wouldn't necessarily run Purify at the moment. But it's like in the future, it's going to be a great sideboard card against COV and sleepers. I don't see it being it's just not efficient against Flame Dawn. Like, you use two resources and a card to purify the Seculus that he might have while he's currently rushing you down. So, it obviously also has some applications against strategies that resolve around certain cards, like, let's say, stuff like Secluded Constructor or like Defiant Hermit Karani. Like those cards, if you can kill them and remove them, it's obviously a lot of value. But in a normal, Warpath against Flame Dawn fight, for example, I would not necessarily even use Purify. Just like as I said, get those high value cards from like triple purity, COV, sleepers, and yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. But like when I'm playing against other decks that's not COV with my current Flaming Dahlia deck, then if I don't use it, it's only 2 cost. I use it if I've got some spare resource, or just shuffle it in if need be. So it is obviously because there's no sideboards at the moment, so you have to kind of think about every situation, of course. But obviously when sideboards come in, this will be a sideboard card, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Reanimator decks a bit because I expected to see some more attempts at them.
Well, my attempts of Reanimator get crushed before the Infestation even released with nerf of Bury.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, that wasn't going to happen, was it?
No, the initial version was like very strong against because of mega units, but the 10 resource cap one was like good and not overpowered, and I didn't understand why they nerfed it to 8, so now like Reanimator is just not a good deck.
Yeah, and we never got quite an answer about that either, as far as I know. I haven't seen ever a response as to why it was moved to 8. I mean, you can read in between the lines and decide it was moved to 8 to prevent the cyber-infested dragon and things like that from being reanimated, but not really clear. I don't know that the cyber-infested dragon was that strong of a reanimator. It was an interesting reanimator, but it only has 10 health.
Yeah.
Also doesn't have shield, isn't like 10 health isn't a lot. It gets killed by Demon of Fear, and the lack of shield is actually huge. Like that was what made mega units so extremely strong, and especially non-fun to play against for new players because they would assassinate it and would be like, why doesn't it die? But Cyber-infested dragon is completely different, and I'm very sad about the fact that we never actually got to play with the combination of Bury into Cyber-infested dragon.
That's true. But
the Reanimator version that I'm playing is the Hakim Reanimator, which is only possible in triple sleeper, is very strong, and combined with Tome of the Dead, you can basically just board wipe, bring everything back, board wipe, bring everything back. You can do this 3 times in a game if you get the right draw. and it's just very hard to deal with for anyone else. If they don't have artifact removal or they don't have haste, so they're not prepared to deal with these constant board state resets. I find the Hakim reanimation, which is not a true reanimator, but it is nonetheless a massive graveyard play. I find it really cool and overwhelming, although I hate playing against it.
But yeah, I love the Hakim decks, of course. They're great. But another, talking about using graveyard manipulation and stuff, the one I've seen quite a lot of it, and I actually made a version of my own on stream, is using the Unending Drones to bring each other back, and using the Infested Scavenger, if that's the right one. Infested Scavenger, is it Infested Scavenger?
Yeah, that's the right card.
Infested Scavenger to, when they come back, they gain +2/+2, and then obviously using the Decrepit Crystal, which gives them +2/+2 as well when they come back, and you've got these drones coming back from the graveyard at the 6/6 every time.
What kind of results you get with that? Because I would underrate that deck. I would say that's a inefficient build.
Yeah, it works, kind of. I think Mick came up with a more solid version of it compared to mine, but he says he was having some good success with it. Because once it gets rolling, it can't stop. It's really very hard to stop. And then
Manchy, you found any real use for the Infested Scavenger? It's been a topic on my show, is how to best use that card, because it's such a neat idea. Oh boy, is it a neat idea.
Everything I've tested with it was extremely underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, even the drones deck, like, it's super slow. Decrepit Crystal is extremely slow, so is the Scavenger, if you don't have it in your command zone. Like, the drones
doesn't work
event.
In command.
Yeah, well, if you have it in your command zone, you can play in your support zone, so you can actually use them. But the drone deck is like super slow. Like, you need quite some time to get rolling with it, and quicker deck just run over it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. But it is quite a fun deck to play, though. It is fun.
Oh yeah.
The best idea I've heard with the Infested Scavenger is to combo it with Recurring Nightmare, so that they just become these endlessly regenerating bad bots. So every time they come back, they're buffed up from their regen and from the Infested Scavenger and their artificial. You construct them onto something and let them go, and you just keep bringing them back. The problem I have with that strategy is that the Scavenger's on 4, the Recurring Nightmare's on 4, Luca's on 4, Splitter Bots are on 4. And that deck to me feels very jammed up, and the converted prototypes on 4. So you have a lot of things you want to be playing in that deck, all on the same resource count, and it feels very jammed up to me. But that's the best idea I've heard, is to use the Recurring Nightmares as these endlessly replenishing bad bots.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried that, but I might have to give that a go.
I tried to build it. I couldn't because of this 4s issue. I couldn't get it rolling. Maybe I could re-optimize it. But the deck, I liked the deck so little, I just deleted it after I played it. I almost never do that.
Just chest anger, delete.
That's about as much rage as you'll see from me. I don't like this deck. Delete.
Well, there's some really cool combos out there that I've seen people play. Obviously,
like what?
The. Let me try to think. What have I got in my decks right here? Let me just.
Or we want to do that after. We want to do that after. I don't know.
Oh no, I was just going to talk about some cool combos that I've seen and come up with, and one of them that I personally very close to my heart is the Shifting Zone Disarm combo. It's not particularly efficient at all, but
it's nasty.
I just love it. But the thing is, Shifting Stone costs a bit too much.
I came across Night Fury in draft last night. Night Fury's a longtime player of the game, and he drafted last night a deck with 2 Surprise Defense, 2 Aushun, 2 Immovables, 2 Shifting Stone, 3 Disarm, and was just...
What? What?
It was... Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
He had Surprise Defense, Aushuns, Immovables, Shifting Stones, Disarms. There was just nothing you could do to this guy. For a draft deck, it was just unreal. It was like, I was just sitting there in shock, like going, how can this be happening to me?
Because, I mean, that kind of stuff happened before when there wasn't that many people playing draft. Like, way back when there's 150 people online, because obviously there's less people coming from the pool. But now that's just incredible.
Best draft deck I ever seen. Best draft deck I ever seen in terms of raw power. Insane.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. So, what are the like little combos between like a couple of cards of like kind of do you guys like in Infestation or since Infestation?
Fire Resolve Hunter Dragon.
New combos. Just golf clap Manchy.
Golf clap for Manchy.
I quite like Eagle Eye Balance. That's funny.
Yeah.
Does balance work on Eagle Eye? Because
I don't think it did.
I tried to do that and it didn't. His text overrid the balance.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that works. I mean, not to shut you down there.
Might have been me having 7 characters then, but I thought it worked. Also, okay. New combo. Balance immovable. Better.
Balance immovable. Yeah, I suppose that could work.
If you're immovable, hit something for 10 instead of 7.
Yeah, but the whole thing, you want a movable to have as much health as he can so he sticks around.
I mean, you run Elata Caretaker. So you have your Elata Caretaker, actually Elata Caretaker, put him to 14 HP and then use Balance so he kills
Then
everything.
flip him and then keep buffing him up.
There you go.
Yeah. Balance is good. I really Balance is a brilliant card. Like using the Golem, Defense Golem, and Balance.
That's insane.
Turn
That's,
4, 2020.
5 cost 2020. That's mental.
Sounds pretty efficient.
Yeah, it worked. I've done it before, and just I think the first time I did it to someone, they insta conceded, and I was like, yeah.
I'm becoming quite the fan of Scouting Mission Luca, which is three flying 7/8 for 9 cost.
That's so disgusting in draft.
It's so powerful. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
3 flying 7/8 for 9 resources. Yes, please.
Yes, it's pretty beefy. That. Just put the looper on the screen. There we go.
I also quite like having Prophet Karani and Dead Wilderness in any Warpath card.
Yeah.
If that counts as a combo.
You gotta like those endless those open-ended combos.
Yes.
You just play your entire hand and then you kill your opponent on turn 6.
Combo.
Combo.
I win. Combo.
Yeah. Karani's a nice card. Well, to be honest, my favourite Warpath card at the moment is Granthar. I love him.
Oh yeah. Granthar is amazing.
If you get him in command and draft, he is just brilliant. Oh man, is he powerful. He's won me games before. Just because he's there.
Yeah, he's a big Perils of Command target. If anyone actually drafts that card, they're going to use it on Granthar. I'm surprised that card has not fallen out of fashion yet. You still see it more often than not. And
so
I think
bad.
players like us would never draft Perils, but you see it. You see it a lot still.
Occasionally, I put one in my draft.
If I have nothing better to take, I'll take a Perils. But I mean, I will avoid it pretty aggressively. And spending 5 resources, 6 resources to kill a card that is going to cost 6. The Granthar's removal costs 6. Plus, he'll cost another 5 to play out. So he's an 11 cost card, really, at the end of the day. And I mean, I guess removing him for 5 makes sense, but removing him when he could potentially cost the opponent way more before you remove him doesn't even make that much sense to me.
True. But the fact is his ability targets the support zone as well. That's why it's a really powerful ability.
Oh yeah.
So you just pick a character that's out. You're like, oh look, he's just played a Hydra. Nom nom nom. So yeah, I really like Granthar.
Well, he enrages large enough to kill a Hydra on his own anyway.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, some of the has anyone of any of you come up with an infested Hulker deck or something to do with that? Cause
That's been coming. Player Zerolith has been really interested in how to do that. He's been asking a lot, and we had some talk about it last night. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of obvious Warpath sleeper combos.
Yeah, I can understand that. Because obviously you've got to get a lot of little things into the graveyard and then enrage this dude.
Yeah, the Infested Hulker is a really cool ability. I just don't know how to really take advantage of it. Why don't we ask Manchy?
Let's
Hey,
ask
Manchy.
The problem with Infested Hulker right now is that in Warpath, you basically put on your beefy creatures and you don't actually want them to die. So to make Infested Hulker worthwhile playing, you would have to counteract your own strategy of putting your creatures down and beating your opponent to death. I mean, at the point where you have enough stuff in your graveyard to make Infested Hulker be really good is the point where you're probably really low on morale or like already behind on the board. Like if you have your stuff killed by your masters, oh yeah, your Infested Hulker is gonna be big, but you're gonna die.
Well, yeah, he seems to be begging for you to fill your graveyard with sleeper chumps. But why would you play Warpath if you're going to fill your graveyard with sleeper chumps? With single purity Warpath is pretty bad. I mean, Warpath is probably the worst splash faction in the game. You play 2 purity or you don't play Warpath at the end of the day. So now I'm like, well, Exiles are worse splash purity. Actually, no. Exiles, fine. You get Ritual Master for splashing Exiles. I think Exile actually more useful splash purity than Warpath.
We'll get onto Exiles in a bit. We'll get onto Exiles in a bit, yeah. But no, yeah, I know what you mean, because carrying on with the splashing Warpath a bit, today I've tried my first Hermit deck, having the Hermit in command. And obviously you can, at the moment, the way the commanders work, you got 1 purity Warpath, 1 purity COV.
Yeah, it's no good for a beast deck.
Honestly, I was genuinely surprised how well it did. I'm not
But
kidding.
wouldn't it do so much better with double Warpath single roar?
Oh,
and
it would.
Hermit's on the draw?
Yeah, of course it would. But the thing is, then you have to pull the Hermit out of the pack. You've got so many other 3-drops you'd rather put down than the Hermit. So you either have him in command or you don't have him at all.
If he would give 1 Warpath purity, that deck would already be super popular.
Oh yeah, it would be amazing. It would be really powerful. But no, to be honest, I had more success with it than I thought I would. Because obviously I had a Varroa Brew and a Leia in command. So obviously he doesn't die. He just keeps buffing himself because it's really easy to keep his health up with the Leia.
How do you play the Hermit, Manchy?
Pretty much the same thing Nova just played today. You have your letter and you keep him alive with that. I didn't necessarily run him in the deck itself. So he's a really strong commander. Like him buffing is really really good. Also, he is just insane against Flame Dawn if you happen to play against it. That's why I also see him as a great sideboard card in the future.
But DoD is also all human.
Oh yeah, also DoD, but DoD usually has ways to make the creatures stick around.
Yeah, because Daude just instantly counteracts them straight up.
But yeah, the Hermit is like really good. I actually played against you today when you were playing that deck. I was playing, and
I beat him with the Defiant Hermit deck today.
Yeah, I was trying to make a Shrine deck work. It was really bad because I didn't draw my Shrine.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking, what is this deck? Oh wait a minute, he's trying a Shrine, and you just didn't pull it.
I had like 30 creatures on the board and wasn't able to finish you off. It made me so sad.
Let's talk for a minute about Shrine decks. I know Nova is always looking for the next Shrine deck, and since Manchy's playing one, I'd be curious to hear you guys chat that up a little bit.
So, before we talk about Shrine, I managed to get myself a gold Shrine. Yes, 2 gold Shrines actually. So anyway, carry on. So yeah, I've tried like 4 or 5 different versions of Shrine deck, and I just can't get any of them to work efficiently.
The build I'm running right now, it's not great, but if you can get it going, it's like hilarious. You have generation of Sleepers, Exiles, and DoD. You run Overwhelming Dead, which basically gives you 5 zombies, so 10% on your Shrine each turn. Gather the Weak, which gives you 3 1/1s. Another 6%, and Jinhai Ambush, another 3 creatures. Then you run Fears, Chaos in the Rings, and stuff like that, just to stall your opponent out while you buff up your shrine. And like other, obviously a latter model sufferer, so you can get back the 4/4 zombies if something dies, because you most of the time have jump block. Stuff like Infected Monk that just doesn't necessarily kill the attacker, just works as a solid defender.
Yeah.
Like Daude in command, obviously, to keep your small creatures alive from Yunche's rares and stuff like that. Infected Devil is my sleeper commander. He's like, even if he dies, he still sticks around as a small as a creature. As soon as he's fixed, where he turns into a sleep buff Everic, he gets some additional value, since then he will actually like come back from the graveyard without you having to worry about him, and he will eventually like work as another jump blocker. And yeah, that's basically the deck. Like token generation, blockers that stick around, like some other golems to prevent yourself from getting UNC'd, and
Oh, I think we just lost Manchy there.
it's really
Oh,
funny.
there we go. Is he back? Okay, he's back.
Your voice cut out, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
look it up.
Wait,
Just the end of what you said there.
it's funny. The deck is fun.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds similar to the one I made on test that I was testing with you, Chess, if you remember.
Yeah.
And that is probably the best one that I've come up with as well. The best kind of purity-wise, anyway. To be honest, I think the best one apart from that is probably Triple Purity DoD. I don't know. It just takes longer. It just takes way too long.
A triple DoD doesn't really have access to the masses of creatures I think you need to activate the shrine.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's a very... You can defend all day long and just hold everything back, but it takes ages to get your shrine up.
I mean, what triple DoD has is G. That if you can create a huge swarm of G flyers and use them to activate the shrine, you'll be okay. But you have to fill your graveyard up first to make that happen, and DoD again is not generating enough creatures usually.
Yeah, so that is the problem. But I think that is the way to go, because it's all just all about stalling. So you use the, as much as you were saying, with the fear and chaos in the ranks, just a stall. But yeah, it's still pretty much like my favourite win condition in the game. I've still got to attempt a dueling deck as well, which I haven't had a chance to do yet with Infestation. What do you think about that, Manchy? Dueling deck?
The dueling, the last one I used to play was the one where you play with Everley. And that was so annoying to play or play against. Like, you always, almost always went and decked your opponent. Like, that deck was so slow and so weak against Warpath. Like, Duelin has a huge problem against Warpath Unstoppable, which is currently, Warpath, Double Warpath is, the most popular faction right now.
Yeah.
At least in, the higher competitive plays. With Triple Karani and the Hunter Dragon deck being great, Jilin is probably not in the right place right now. The game is too fast for him.
Yeah. I really would like to make it. It needs to be easy. I think it needs to cost less. Maybe that would fix it, but potentially. But I really like it, and I don't want, because I remember I made in the previous matter I did make a Julian deck without the Everly, just kind of basically having as many things to protect him and using Bell to make sure he will definitely gain a chapter that turn and things like that. And that seemed to work okay, but it's just basically a DoD defense deck with a Julin. So usually I end up winning via morale anyway, or something like that. So,
yeah, I think Julin more than anything is a distraction for your opponent. It's the one more thing they have to worry about. And it may take their focus away from their own morale, trying to keep the Julin from gaining chapters, and that's an interesting psychological aspect of the card.
Yeah, of course. And also, as soon as you get him out, he's an infinite chump blocker every turn, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
he's like a fleeting footman.
Yeah. We got to talk about fleeting footman. We got to talk about fleeting footman.
Such an annoying card.
When I first saw them, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a cool ability, yeah. And now, oh my god, they're just amazing. Like, the best 2-drop in the game. I'm just saying it.
Hate them.
But if you're unaware, guys, the reason they're so good is obviously the charge, yeah. When they're attacking someone, it's a bit annoying when you're attacking and they block because they don't do anything and they just pull back. But then if you block with these guys, it stops Unstoppable, it stops everything, they don't take any damage, it is glorious. If you have 3 of these out, you have 3, unless they have a death ray or anything like that, they're just going to survive. They've got 5 health as well, so they can't be taken out by a lightning blast or anything like that. They're just so good.
I know people like them, and some I've even heard best card in Flame Dawn from a few people. But if I'm running if I'm running a rush, that's the last thing I want. To tell you the truth, I don't. If I'm running a rush, I'm not planning to defend, and B, it's super annoying that he can't kill any defenders in a rush. So I not a real. That card's just not a favorite for me. I recognize his power on defense. It's an incredibly annoying defender, but in its position as a charging 2-cost in a Flame Dawn Rush faction, I don't like it.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. Send your hate mail to the Infinity Cast. I'm willing to be wrong.
I will say he's amazing in draft.
Oh yeah,
he's a phenomenal. He's won me games. Well, actually,
I
got
him.
my best run ever, which was I think was my second Infestation deck that I made. And it had I think I won in Command and 3 in the deck of these guys, and it just pretty much won me games.
I may hate him, but I draft him.
Highest,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I draft him.
exactly.
yeah. The card is really good, especially since he stops Unstoppable, which is funny. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's exactly intended, but
neither am I.
I like it. So, is there any other cards you guys want to talk about before we maybe move on to talk about Riffrens? Maybe we should talk about Alpha-1. Anyone made a deck with him? I tried, and I just gave up.
Worst legendary in the game. The end.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he just cost. Yeah.
He stole the spot from Hinekri.
yeah, I mean, I think the three of us know exactly why he's the worst legendary in game, and it's better than the alternative of him being the best legendary in the game. But Rob told me he's going to get some love. Rob recognized that the card is underpowered. He's just concerned that buffing a factionless legendary too high could be a problem across the board, and that's true. So I do think Alpha-1 will get better than he is now.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, yeah, it's not hard to make him better. Just make Split Robot colorless and legendary, and you have the best legendary.
Yeah, that's true.
Before we move on to drafting, Manchy, when you were on my broadcast a week ago or so, you said that you had a top five constructed meta decks right now, and I'm just curious. Have they changed in the week? Have you seen anything that changed your mind? And could you review that so we could discuss it a little bit? Where you feel like the most power is right now?
It's basically still COV, the Hunted Dragon deck, the Immovable deck, and the Karani deck. The Karani deck is second place behind COV, since COV actually has a favorable matchup against it. I've played that matchup a lot by now. So I would pretty much say that COV is the best deck, quote unquote the best deck right now, but still loses quite a lot to Flame Dawn. But Flame Dawn pretty much loses to everything else. So,
yeah, about the Karani deck, in the Warpath Mirror match, I'm finding the double pack leader Noble command with no Karani to be faster than the Karani deck.
That honestly really depends on the hand you have when you play Karani. Usually you play the turn 2 brings life passing, turn 3 Karani, and if you have a good turn 4, you can play 3 one of manys. So that would make you faster than the other Warpath deck.
Yeah, because I, to be honest, you guys are the better Warpath experts. I don't play Warpath that often, so I know Chess is an avid Warpath fan. So
I am, and I thought I was gonna love Karani, but I'm finding myself. I have the exact Karani deck that Manchy prefers, and I've built my own. And I'm finding more consistency with the standard Warpath beatdown, the 5 pack leader beatdown. I really expected to have just mad Karani love. I was expecting to play nothing but Karani. And I find the traditional Warpath beatdown a little more consistent, a little more efficient.
fair enough, fair enough. As I said, I haven't made my triple Karani deck, so I will have to try it.
I find the Hunted Dragon deck very inconsistent. And for some reason, I'm finding it less consistent now, and obviously that's bad hands and what have you. But I don't, and maybe I just don't play it right. That's totally possible. But I lately I've been playing Immovable Caretaker, which I used to never play. And I've had the deck for a long time, but lately I thought, I should learn this deck, and I threw it out there, and it is insane. It's so consistent on the defense, it's hard to question the deck. Where Hunted Dragon deck is not as consistent on the offense as the Caretaker deck, the Immovable deck is on the defense.
Oh yeah, definitely isn't as consistent on the offense, but the thing is, like, Hunted Dragon is still amazing. And if you basically have your Flame Down Rush style at the beginning when you start beating your opponent down, and then you transition into a more mid-game deck with the Warpath. Like, it's slower than Flame Dawn Rush, but it's more it's mid-game and late game is just so much stronger against COV than like pretty much anything else. Like the Hunted Dragon with all the deflects and fiery resolves is amazing at COV.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I haven't personally played it. Have you actually played it since the Infestation? Or how has the Hunted Dragon been altered since Infestation? Or has it been altered much?
Just replacing the Mammoth with Skrar's Young is the biggest change to that deck. It's very subtle. The changes to the most competitive decks, or at least decks that someone like Manchy considers most competitive, that aren't new decks entirely, the changes are 15 to 20% of the cards. It's very subtle. Infest didn't really unseat any of the old heavy hitters.
Just made COV stronger.
Oh yeah.
And Sleepers.
Yeah.
I mean, Sleepers had no game before, and now they've
got some, yeah. DoD are pretty much in the same position they were before, I think.
Yeah.
They've got some nice combos with other stuff, but that's about it. Unfortunately, to my misery. But
I don't know if they're keeping Flame Dawn down on purpose, or
Flame down like it.
Flame Down.
Flame down.
But they just feel like they had an edge in Rise that's just not there anymore. Double Flame Dawn Single Roar used to be a really competitive deck, and I don't feel it anymore. And it's kind of a letdown because that was a really fun style to play.
It was basically like nerfed to death by the exhaust and stumble change. Like that made that change. That made that deck so good.
Well, I wasn't there for those
Oh,
changes.
you don't
I
want
played the deck after those changes, and it was still good.
Yeah, that stumble change though needed to happen.
I really don't like that change still.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, for people who don't know, who weren't here, what stumble used to do? What was it? Because it was maybe 3 cost. Was it before?
Stumble was 2 cost.
Yeah, it was 2 cost. But what it did, instead of just pushing it back to the sport zone, it pushed the card back to your hand. It pushed it back to the opponent's hand. It was horrible.
It also had a resource cap of 7, so maximum of 7 could be pushed back, but it was basically an unsummon, and they didn't like the slowdown for your opponents. Like, there was a card that allowed you to slow down your opponent, which you now don't really have. Like, if you could stumble your opponent's Karani, that would be great. Like, you can't do that anymore, so you can't keep up with Flame Dawn.
Yeah. It was and exhaust was like a 1 cost.
Yeah,
It does
it
now.
would. Yeah.
If that was our So yeah, the stumble was just, it was insane. Like the thing, because when you think about it, let's say you play like a 3-cost card out, and then obviously it's exhausted for a turn. Then you play it out, then they stumble it, and then it's another 2 turns to get it back out again, and you have to pay the cost again. So it was just such a potent card, and that's when Flame Dawn were just on top, just all the time. The only thing you could do against stumbles was things like Vigilance from DoD and stuff. That was the only stuff you could do against it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. The game's that's after my day. I came in October and it was already changed.
It was a good change, though, I think.
Let me ask you this, Manchy. You consistently rate triple COV very high, but our mutual friend Adora Bear and I were talking last night, and he said he feels like the double GI Varor and double GI Sleeper is actually better than triple COV. And I shredded some triple COVs with that double GI Sleeper deck I was talking about. Just danced all over them, and I'm just curious. I mean, obviously you're not listing GI in your ranking at all. Why?
All I can tell you is basically I've not played against a single player who plays triple COV the way I do.
Okay,
That's
So
all I can tell
you're just
you.
Uber. You're just
No,
Uber, and that's the answer.
that sounds wrong, but every time I play against a triple COV player with other decks than triple COV, it's like they play it very weird and definitely do some decisions I would not make at any point.
Okay, so what kind of style do you play with your COV compared to people then? If you want
Like,
go
I
into that
completely adjust my style to my opponent's deck.
What's
like-
that? I mean, how?
Yeah, example.
Against other COV decks, I basically don't play a single Demon of Fear. Against, like, you don't play Demon of Fear, you don't play Wealthy Nobles. You only use your Summoning Stones, your Demons, because they have such a low morale cost, and then you grind your opponent out very, very slowly. Against some other Flame Dawn decks, you stop their initial rush, and then you actually rush them down with your Demons and Flying Creatures. Like, you counteract the rush against. Against Karani, it's pretty basic. You keep your stuff back. You try to kill the Karani as early as possible, and then rely on your flyers and Varoria. But like, it's just like you have to heavily adjust your playstyle to whatever deck you're playing against.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, I understand that. Okay, fair enough. I know a lot of triple. The thing is with the triple Varor deck, I think we're obviously not going to see as many of them. Well, there can be triple Varor decks, but they will not be true triple Varor decks because Dark Wishes and obviously Annihilates, and Mass Deaths and everything. It's an expensive deck.
Oh yeah,
it's a very expensive deck.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. It's a new player has to basically trade all their wealth if they want to get into that style right off the bat. They basically have to get lucky, nab some legendaries, and go buying Dark Wishes. Not an easy deck to get right into early on, that's for sure.
Because I mean, just looking at that right now. So you need 3 Mass Deaths, they're all rares. You need 3 Annihilates, they're all rares.
Adora pointed out last night
Stones.
that might be part of the hate on Triple Varor right now is that it's the people playing it are mostly more experienced players because it takes a larger collection to be playing it all. So part of the reason people might be perceiving it as overly powerful is that there are no like noob Triple Varor players because they can't build the deck.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's still, as I said, when I meet Triple Varor players, it's usually they're still using a lot of Death Worshippers. Yeah. Well, it's fun decks. It's fun decks. Let me have a look here a second. So anything, guys, you want to add to what we've talked about so far?
No, this might be an opportune moment to take a short break.
Okie dokie, we shall take a short break then. So for you guys, it'll just be a second. For us, it'll be a few minutes. So we'll see you shortly, guys. And we are back. Hello, everybody. Obviously, it's just been like that for you, but yeah, you know what I mean. Right, let's get right back into it. I wanted to talk about Enya. what Enya decks have you guys made? Because I've made one. It's fun as hell to play. But what are you doing, Jess?
Showing I've made 0 Enya decks. I've made
okay.
that many.
Okay, you should.
It's a hole in my hand. That's how many.
Okay. It's fun. You should. Like,
Yeah.
I was just worried about what commanders to put for it. Like, in the end, I actually didn't bother with Varus and actually put a what do you call him? I've completely forgotten the name. A cartographer, actually. Because obviously using the rift.
Contain parallel rift.
Contain parallel rift. Basically, I leave the cartographer. I use it turn 3 because then it guarantees me at least a turn 3 play, and then obviously it's only 4/4, but yeah, whatever. And then
The battlefield art for that card is so beautiful.
It's broken to hell though. Like you can't see half the cards are just kind of buried under the thing.
It's so pretty though. It's so pretty.
Oh yeah, true. But it does kind of look like there's 2 cardboard cutouts just stuck there. They need some animation on them.
Yeah.
They need some animation on them. But yeah, because basically I kind of wait till so I use my hand that I've got, like if I draw more cards, whatever. I basically exhaust all the usefulness out of my hand for the current game, and then I play the rift out when I've got no use for my hand anymore, and then I can start mixing it up. So that's how I've kind of come up with the deck and played the deck. But
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
it doesn't work, but it's fun. It's fun. What are your opinions, Manchy, then?
Enya itself the way it currently is, will probably never see competitive play, which makes me sad because I like the card.
Oh,
I made one Enya deck, but that was back when it was on the test server. It was amazing. It was actually really good, and I could have seen it in competitive play, but then they they unconsciously nerfed it to death.
Yeah.
What was the? I don't remember Enya seeing a nerf.
No, it wasn't the Enya. It was the Aletta, which got nerfed.
Oh, that had to be changed. Yeah.
It was basically an Enya Reanimator deck. It was so good.
Yeah, that.
Just hearing Manchy say Enya Reanimator deck, it's like.
Does that scare you, Jess? Just
New meta.
New meta crazy stuff, but Parallel Rift is fun to play around with at least. Like the one thing I've seen with this card that actually was quite good. Some people, a lot of people are doing. I'm doing this when playing the 40 uncontrolled Rift decks, which are just so much fun.
I think. By the way, we invited people to come and play a tournament with us. I think there are only 4 people in the whole game who have 40 uncontrolled rifts, and Nova and I are 2 of them.
I think so. There's a lot of people in chat looking for them. I keep seeing them. But one thing you do with this, you basically have the Contain Parallel. You have the 3 Aether Acolytes in command. And obviously every time you play a Rift, they get stronger, stronger, and stronger. Then you play the Contain Parallel Rift out, and because you've got the same amount of cards, you flip them all back into the deck, and you take out another, 7 uncontrolled Rifts, and you just keep going with the Rifts, and going, and going, and going. So, you don't, because usually with Contain Parallel Rift, it obviously shuffles the card in, but it only shuffles the amount of cards you have in your hand. And obviously if you played a couple, it'll only shuffle in 2 or 3 of them or whatever. But if you're doing that, you're constantly recycling and getting more cards every turn anyway.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yet
another unintended consequence of that card.
Yeah, but I like it. It's a cool idea. You obviously never get to play any of the actual characters that you bring out because, until they come back around again with the Rift. But until then, you get these 40-40 siphoners by turn 6. So, on the other hand, it's quite funny. Obviously,
you mean Ether Acolytes?
Oh, sorry, I mean Acolytes. Yeah. Apologies. But yeah. All right. Yeah. What else did we say we were going to talk about before we move on to riff runs? Oh yeah. Exiles. Obviously, this is quite a big thing because it had a whole rework, and then obviously the new Infestation stuff was meant to add to it. So. Go.
Still
I
awful.
think Chess Faces just says it all. Just
I didn't like them before. I like them a little better now. Still don't want to play them. It's not anybody's fault except whoever decided that should be their flavor in the first place. It's that person's fault. I blame that person. I just don't. The RNG of a trading card game should be limited to drawing your hand. As far as I'm concerned, that's the competitive limiting random factor. I don't want there to be additional RNG in the effects of what I play. I don't want there to be. I don't like playing around that. It just does not please me. I am a results-oriented person. So for my personality and my style of play, I want as much control as I can have over what I'm playing in the game. And anything that minimizes that is not enjoyable to me, is not attractive.
fair enough. Fair enough. What are your opinions on Exiles at the moment, then, Manchy?
There are two good cards in Exiles right now. It's Hungry Abomination and
We have to talk about that.
the Ritual Master. Like, those two cards are good, and the rest is like just mediocre. Too bad.
Hungry Abominations with the Ritual Master at the moment are just... it's silly. It's silly.
It's basically a turn 6 50-50. And that's everything Exiles got going for them except for the bug abuse decks.
Yes.
But it's weak to every single form of removal in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but like it's still a 50-50 for 6, which is solid.
And it's only 6 morale as well, which is beyond how it's only 6 morale, but yeah. But yeah, Ritual Master is currently extremely broken in the way
Ritual Master has been broken its entire history in the game. It has allowed most of the exploit decks ever, and it continues to do that.
Yeah, because one of the main bug abusing decks is what's happening at the moment is with Aleta the Immortal Sufferer and Z. Because basically you use a Retro Master, discard, and the same turn, before you've even pressed end turn, you can use the Sufferer or Z to bring back another token, and then the next turn you can pay the cost of that card that you've supposedly removed from the graveyard, and it still comes back.
Yeah, so just to be clear, just because you see a Ritual Master and a Sufferer in command, or a Ritual Master and a G in command, does not mean the person is exploiting. Watch what they do. If they put something in their graveyard, pay its exile cost to bring it into play, and then also activate it with a G or an Immortal Sufferer, they are exploiting.
Yes.
They may not know they're exploiting, so be nice about it, but just know your opponent is exploiting a bug. A bug that has existed is not a new bug in the game. This bug has existed for months and months. It needs to be closed. But everyone who plays the game for any length of time knows about this bug. All of us are aware of it. And it is really, if you exploit this Ritual Master Immortal Sufferer with Demonic Disciples, you can have something like 8 or 9 units in play by turn 4. It's absurd. And if you see it, just concede. And if you see someone playing it in ranked play, please report the player. It is an exploit deck. Don't play it. Don't learn the game this way. And try to be nice when you tell other people they're playing an exploit.
Yeah, exactly. So don't. You've been told. You've been warned. It is getting fixed. They have talked about it in the QA chat.
Another thing you can do is discard your Julin with your Ritual Master, then exile him from your graveyard with Z, and he will come into play.
For
Really?
1 cost?
Really?
Yes,
Does
for
that
1
work?
cost.
Okay, don't try that either. I didn't even know
That's
that.
a cheat.
So you basically can bring out Julin on turn 2.
What?
If you're lucky enough, and discard him.
That's
Turn 1.
mental.
It's hilarious.
That's crazy. What? Okay.
How did you find that one?
By playing with someone who plays a lot of Exiles. It always, like, you also can, like, then remove additional Julins from your graveyard that you then discarded, so you can have multiple you can basically have 3 Julins on turn 4.
Nice. Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so if you see someone with 3 Julins that cost 7 on turn 4 when they couldn't have had 21 resources.
Blame
Think to
Manchy.
yourself, maybe this is an exploit of some kind.
Maybe, just maybe. Exiles. Yeah. One thing that we will mention as well is probably the Swarmer decks. Because there's been quite a lot of them around them. Apparently they are getting a nerf of some.
Why?
I thought I would be really excited for Swarmer decks, and I haven't put one together. I thought I'd be stoked for it, and I ended up not caring.
I put one together, and it's quite fun. You don't use the Exile one, really. You use one of the Sleeper ones and 2 of the Warpath ones in Command, because they give the buff from the Command, but as far as I'm aware, that's getting removed, so they won't do it from Command, which kind of sucks.
That's the only thing that made Sleeper Swarmers any playable at all. Like, they're not great right now. They're, like, very average.
So, yeah, because I think that's... Yeah.
Well, hopefully there's more insectoid content coming that will improve them in other ways.
I think that's probably what's going to happen, which is a good thing, I think, which should be cool. Should be very good. Alright then. Is that pretty much everything before we start moving on to Rift runs or drafting? Is there anything else anyone wants to mention? I will ask this question. Worst Infestation card. Go.
A lot of them?
Infested.
Pick one.
I said it last week on the show. It triggered a huge debate in QA, but Infested Abomination is horrid. Terrible card.
Fair enough.
Don't play it. 5-cost, 5/5 that does 2 damage per turn in the graveyard. Don't play that card.
I think
Terrible.
Personally, Scramble.
Oh, Scramble. Yeah, Scramble is f***ing horrible. Oh, I keep cursing.
Chess, you made more work for me now.
You're going to troll face me, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I have to. God damn it.
We asked Teramis on my stream, we're like, Teramis, what do you think of Scramble? And he's like, it's a card. It's in the game.
If you discard it, it costs nothing.
That's
I
what
don't
he
want
said.
to play it for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if you give it to me in addition, like to my hand, just for free, and I
I'll
can
still-
play it for nothing, I would not play it.
Yeah, me too. It's like, at best, everything goes right where you want it. At worst, everything goes right where it already is. Great.
So, what would you say is your worst card, Manchy? Scramble?
I mean, probably Scramble, if not Scramble. Stuff like, I think Crystal of Madness is freaking awful. Brimstone is awful. Like,
Crystal Madness is a whole lot worse than Brimstone.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's probably true, but both are terrible.
Bring in on the hate. Alright, let's go the opposite end. Best card in Infestation. I'm sorry, I've just got to laugh at the faces, and you both lent your hands back at exactly the same time.
We're
That was
both of German heritage. We're both of German
Okay.
heritage.
Karani or Annihilate.
I'd have to probably go with Annihilate, as in the best all-round kind of card.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I like a lot of the cards, and I thought Karani was my favorite card. But actually, I think the best card in the set is probably Vizier. It's probably
Okay.
Vizier.
Alright.
Manchy shakes his head. Nope. Wrong.
I actually thought about cutting him from my COV deck.
Wow, but
Because he doesn't put up the results I want him to. Like, you put him down for 7 resources, and if your opponent pays for it, like, yes, you get ahead in resources, but that's not what you want from the card. You want it as a consistent kill condition.
Okay, well, I was just trying to be creative. You don't have to be so dismissive of my creative spirit.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's a good card. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's an amazing epic. It's up there in the best epics of the set. But I don't agree with it like being better than Karani or Annihilate.
Well, we didn't say. Oh, did we say that? I thought we were
I'm
saying
just
maybe
saying best card. We'll go on to favorite cards in the next question.
best card. I guess Annihilate is the best card.
Yeah. I think so.
The only thing that keeps Annihilate from truly being the best card is that it's triple purity COV. Really, a best card would have more applications.
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
of course, yeah.
So like something that would be splashable, and again, Karani is triple purity warpath. So it's like, what's the best card that has multiple uses? Um, that's another question. I mean,
Fleeting
it really
He has
can't
multiple
think of.
uses. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, Boomy. Well, anyway, yeah. Let's ask the question. Favorite cards. Favorite cards. Go on. Top 3 favorite cards. Manchy, go in Infestation.
1, Annihilate. 2 would
Karani.
probably be Defiant Hermit.
Okay.
And 3 would be Bury after they hopefully fix it.
All right. Jess.
But, yeah.
My favorites are Karani, Zomborg, and I really like Converted Prototype. I really like Converted Prototype, and Undead Artificial. I think it's the first card with 2 subtypes. It's really cool to have an Undead Artificial for a lot of reasons, and I'm just gonna throw that out there to be different.
It is
to
a
be
cool
different.
card. It is a cool card. Well, you guys probably know what I'm gonna pick straight up. Like,
Surprise defense,
I'm not actually
and
no,
surprise
not actually
defense.
gonna like. It is an awesome card, but it's not one of my favorites. Like, probably my favorite is Shifting Stone. I just love the way it works. I don't play it very often, but I just love the card. And honestly, Fleeting Footman are becoming my new favorite card. And then probably the third is probably actually Purify, for the amount of play I've used of it personally since the game started. Since Infestation came. Personally.
Funnily enough, I've not cast a single Purify yet on the test server or on the live server, but I think it's still one of the best cards.
Fair enough. Brilliant.
Yet you've played Vizier in your COV deck, and you're like, nope. But the card you haven't played at all, you think is great. I see how you work, Manchy. It's all theoretical physics.
Yeah, who cares about the actual game? Like, I just look at the card and I analyze it and compare it to everything else with my German statistics, and then I say, this card is good, this card is bad.
There you go.
There you go. Manchy
German
logic.
efficiency. Don't actually test the cards. Just imagine testing the cards, and then you have the most efficient test possible.
Oh,
Not
definitely.
even kidding, I do that. I imagine matchups. Like,
He's just lying. He just imagine like the sleep at night. He just goes, wake up. And, yeah, that would work, and then just fall back asleep again. Just oh, Manchy. But yeah, like, okay, let's go on to drafting. How drafting has changed since Infestation. So, do you want to start us off there, Jess? Oh, Manchy. Go ahead, Manchy.
I just what I've been drafting a lot lately, like basically the last 5 times I drafted, I was trying to always force triple purity warpath to get Karanis, and completely overwhelm my opponent. It's such an efficient strategy right now.
I'd probably say about the same. To be honest, though, Triple Sleepers has been dominating draft as well.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely dominating.
The Hakeem draft is very good. It's still weak to flying and weak to hard removal, like mass stats. But against most draft decks, it's very, very good.
Yeah, of course. So those are probably the two. But still, you've got things like Splitterbots and Genesis, which are still pretty good in draft in general, especially now with with cards like the Infected Drone and stuff.
Scouting Mission Luca.
Yeah, Scouting Mission Luca. That combo is just potent. It's so potent.
Yeah, I think Aletta Tinkerer is so much better than any other Genesis commander for draft. If you can draft Tinkerer for command, it's an auto pick. It's so good in draft. I mean, she's great in constructed. She's the linchpin of my Genesis deck in constructed, but in draft, she can make Genesis every day.
Yeah. Same with Caretaker as well. If you get a Caretaker in command, that's also an insta pick. Because you just instantly trade anything better against people, just generally. Just because of that one extra resource you spend every turn. But yeah, there's a lot of nice draft. Well, as I said, I got my best longest draft win streak ever. It was 36, I think. And
Yeah, it's very good. I saw you on the leaderboard.
Yeah, that was my highest run ever, so I was really proud of myself. And I can't remember the actual deck, but I know I think that won the deck for me was the Fleeting Footmans, as I said earlier. Winning Command 3 in the deck, like they just won so many games by defending for me. But I think it was one Purity Warpath and then one COV, I think, that deck. So it had nice control and it just worked pretty well. But I think there's still some Tri-Purity decks that work extremely well if you get a good draft with them. They're probably going to go for the higher wins, maybe. But it seems like most people are having success with the Sleepers, to be honest, over the Warpath.
I've drafted 3 of the 5 triple Warpath decks I drafted were 32 wins.
Nice.
Like, I basically always play to 32 wins and then concede 3 times to just get the deck for free and continue with another draft.
Fair enough.
And another deck I got to 32 wins was double Genesis, actually Genesis double COV. I was able to draft Masters, which are great in draft because people don't expect you to have like multiples of them.
Yeah.
And the deck won so much with Splitter Robots and Luca plus Arrow plus Scouting Mission. Like Scouting Mission plus Suka is so absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so efficient. 9 resource, 3, 7, 8 flyers. That's so above the curve, and because flying is so strong in draft on top of it, it's basically 21 free damage a turn for 9 resources. It's you consider Firestarter does 21 damage if he's unblocked, and he costs 7, and that's a single card. Luca's Scouting Mission gives you 3 flyers, which means they have 8 hit points. They have more hit points than Firestarter, and they hit individually. The value there at 9 resources is insane.
Oh yes. I'd probably say that's the best combo in draft. Would we go as far as saying that?
It's the best unit creation combo. I mean, I think in terms of best simple combos, it's still real hard to beat Undead Corruption Zombie Gun.
Oh, of course,
Undead Corruption Zombie Gun is a very powerful combo at 4 resources. Mm-hmm. Very hard to beat.
Oh yeah. Also, Splitter Robot plus another Splitter Robot. And maybe another third Splitter Robot. That's a good combo.
Oh yeah, of course. Splitter Robot's still on top, as you. What were we talking about QA chat? Like a mega unit splitter bot. Someone was like, a mega unit splitter bot needs to happen, and it dies and splits into 2 splitter bots, and then those splitter bots split into the other ones, and it's just why would exactly. I was like, no.
Splitter bots.
If you guys knew half the stuff that went on in QA chat.
Oh my god. I wish I didn't know half the stuff that goes on in QA chat.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So yeah, and what else about drafting has been going on this week? What's the highest at the moment? I think it's 69, which is quite amusing, of course.
No, the leaderboard reset yesterday.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, 59 now.
Is it 59? Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that was Hearts one, so highest so far, wasn't it? 169. That's the highest draft run so far.
Yep.
Well, on the a little bit of a segue, but still on the subject of drafting a little bit. Last night, the 3 of us all are on the quality assurance team. Last night, the most recent major patch for the game went live on our test server, and implemented in that is going to be. Is not a promise, but we're looking at the promised chat system revision. We're looking at a revamp to the entire reward system, which it has not been verified. I'm expecting this to mean weekly draft leaderboard prizes. So those of you who've been thinking like there's no reason to go above 30 wins in draft, I think that's about to get handled in the next, whenever this patch does get pushed out to the public, and I don't know when that'll be. I just know that it's close because they're ready for us to look at it. There's been a few issues. None of us have seen it yet, but they're ready. And part of that includes a new reward system, which I believe will activate the weekly draft rewards. And that will give some new competition back to draft. And I think that's a big deal because I've been hearing from people like there's no reason to play above 30 wins kind of comments. And right now there isn't. They're kind of just EP'd. So I think putting the weekly rewards for the draft and hoping that they're desirable rewards I think will do a lot for draft competition.
I agree.
And also, since I'm talking about upcoming things, I also realized that March 17th to 21st is Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, California. And Lightmare will be there. They're going to make a big announcement about future content to the game, top secret stuff that nobody knows about yet. Going to be announced at Game Developers Conference. And we're expecting Alfie Coyle to actually come and be a part of our broadcast sometime shortly thereafter to talk about that stuff. So Nova and I are really proud of that.
The Agent Coyle.
The Agent Coyle.
The real Agent Coyle. But yeah, next week we have Robbie, who is basically the main designer of Infestation and the coming set as well. As far as
the designer of this set, the next set, and all future sets till he loses his job.
Yeah. Until he fixes Exiles and then they have no further use for him. But no, that should be good, so definitely tune in for that. So yeah, is there anything else to add? Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Manchy, what are you here to promote, sir?
I just, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I just was able to get my stream back running because my computer was having issues. So follow me on twitch.tv/apex_Manchy. Also, you should look on the stream or generally in the forums for tournament announcements, because I and my team, we're going to host the first cash prize buy-in stuff style of tournament. So that's going to be exciting because there's actually going to be something on the line that's not like just virtual. So you're going to have like a real good reason to prepare your decks. And I'm really excited to see that and what decks are going to be played and what, especially what's going to win.
Or is it a normal? Or is it just anything goes to?
No, it's normal. Like,
okay.
You build your best constructed deck, what you also like run in ranked with or whatever, and then you go to in the tournament and you just compete. Like,
do you know what your ladder structure is going to be?
It's probably going to be like, we're still discussing between Swiss and KO system, because I mean obviously Swiss is harder to do because it takes longer and more matches have to be generated. KO system would prevent those issues, but I mean generally we're looking at a KO system for the current moment because there's nothing implemented in the game itself right now.
So did you have multiple eliminations then?
Yeah.
Very cool. I really kudos to you guys for trying to take this to the next level competitively. Had a few people wander through my broadcast this week, asking where the money was, saying they only play games that they can make money playing, and yeah, the only kind of person who says that is somebody who's never made any money playing the game. You don't, I was just like, get out of here. What do you want? Like, he's like, is this game popular yet? I'm like, I'm kind of working my butt off to make this game popular. What do you want from me? But he got banned. But anyway, it'd be nice to be able to point to there being legit real money tournaments, and hopefully it'll lead to Lightmare sponsoring legit real money tournaments down the road.
I know they've said to us that they want to do that, so yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, good on you guys.
Yeah, should be good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from us, guys. So as usual, come check out mine and Chesspieces stream. Links are below. I'll also put the link to Manchy's stream in the bottom chat as well, below the video. All down there, yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back next week with, as I said, Robbie, who apparently is very hard to get out of the office, according to people.
Well, he doesn't actually have to leave the office. He'll probably do this from his office.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But you know what I mean. He's not going to come sit in your living room.
He'll just be virtually outside of his office.
You know what I mean.
But if you guys have questions about Infestation set, send them into the Infinity Cast, send them to Nova or myself via Twitch PM or whatever. If you guys have things you want to know from the developer next week, now's a good chance. We got as much time as we want with Robbie, and we're gonna start doing we're also gonna start doing a deck review feature each week. We want to start. We're not sure when, but if you guys have a special deck you think is worth looking at, send those to us. I mean, don't just send us any deck, but if you think it's a noteworthy deck that's got a unique feature or is worth discussing, or you want to see us discuss it and you can say why, send those to us and we'll pick a deck and we'll start featuring a deck each week on the broadcast.
Yeah. All right, then. I think that's everything. So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for Manchy for joining us today. It's been very good, and we'll probably get back on maybe in the future show as well. So, thank you very much, guys. That's it from us. Have a good day. Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.